I'm going to call the March meeting of the Oconee County Fire Service Advisory Commission meeting to order. First bit of business, I would like to amend the agenda or entertain the motion to amend the agenda. Myself and Maddie both failed to catch that we didn't put a public comment session on it. So I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda at this time.
Make a motion.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
No.
7-0. Okay, at this time, we'll open the floor for public comment. I think one, maybe two, maybe. You know the rules. We got 5 minutes. At 4 minutes, I'll give you a yellow card. At 5 minutes, I'll tell you time's up. And we'll go from there.
Our first public comment is Rainey Bond.
Good evening. Thank y'all for doing this and volunteering your time. These meetings are hard. You know, the South Carolina Public Meetings Act is something we don't all know, you know, but when you get in a position to, we kind of need to read those rules and abide by them. The biggest thing, I was looking at the agenda for tonight, you've got executive session scheduled and to talk about contractual matters dealing with the fire contracts, which sounds like it would work, but what exactly is this board going to recommend? And how are they going to recommend it? And who up there works for who? You know, if it's a contract with the county and the city, do you have a city employee on the board? And how will that affect their job? And will they get more money? Will they get a raise? All of those things. You got to take that into consideration when we're looking at this for the county. But the transparency that you guys have with the public stops all the rumors. When you guys have your debates about things in the public instead of in an executive session, we're not left to wonder what you're talking about. I hope that makes sense. And there's nothing that an advisory commission should talk about that's a secret, ever. You know, you have this forum here so that hopefully more people would show up and give input. And so you could get something from the community on how better to serve the community, if that makes sense. So please keep that in mind. I know this is only your third meeting. You're gonna have a bunch of them, but try to be as open and transparent with the public as you can. That way I can just watch it at home and I don't gotta come down here. It'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody like to comment on that?
Only thing I got, I don't know what the rules and regulations are, but having executive session, I guess there's a law you can look up somewhere.
Our agenda is looked over by the clerk of council and vetted and approved before it's ever sent out.
Okay.
So it meets all the,
It's reviewed, it's not technically approved, because that's your
Yeah.
role to approve it, but yes, she does review it.
so if there's anything in there that's not legal or on the up and up. And a lot of times executive session is just that, it's just a discussion so that we can speak freely about things and desires and needs amongst the board.
And Jennifer does have handbooks for all the rules, laws, and regulations, so we can definitely get you a copy of it.
Okay, is that the only speaker? Would the lady like to speak? I mean,
Oh, she
Okay.
didn't sign in, so.
thank you, Mr. Bond. You had time to look over the minutes? Any corrections, additions, subtractions? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
I have a motion for approval. Do I have a second? Got a motion and a second. All in favor? 7-0. First bit of, next bit of business would be the county fire chief report.
We've received 3 of the tankers, of the 6 that we ordered. And, there was a, issue identified on the Freightliner side, in the rear end. When you make sharp turns, there was a popping. So those are being rectified as they get parts, but apparently this is a fairly new issue and there's not that many parts nationwide, so, 2 of them have, one of them's at the shop now here, another one's in the shop in Sumter at the Freightliner dealer being fixed. So hopefully soon we'll have those 3 ready to go into service. We will pick up the 4th one will be delivered end of next week. It's the one at Freightliner now, and then the last 2 will be thereafter. So hopefully we'll have all 6 of them in service sometime in April, be the goal. And then the last thing I got is the letter that was required by the county, or from the county, as well as the letter from dispatch for Holly Springs to get a FDID was drafted and signed and submitted to Chief Michael Smith with Holly Springs. So all that our part's done.
I think, to add on to that, I think they had first reading for the transfer of the building.
For a lease.
Yes, yes. Do you know any of the details on the lease? No. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Question for Chief Smith?
I do. What would you say was wrong with the trucks?
There's something in the springs, shackles in the rear. When you made a sharp turn and the weight shifted, it was just a little pop. Wasn't enough to keep it out of service, but Freightliner identified an issue on their chassis, and the parts they needed to fix. It's very slim throughout the nation. So as they got them in, they were trying to get them fixed.
It's nothing major, I don't think, and
No.
correct me if I'm wrong, it's,
No.
leaf springs
And
shifting.
we
in the
didn't
shaft.
hear it initially on the Cleveland truck when we went and got it. When we went back to get Oakway's truck, made a turn, I'm like, that didn't sound right. Turned it the other way, there it was again. So we come back and it was identified again on Cleveland's. So Freightliner said, no, this is on us, we'll make it right, so.
Anything else? Okay, we'll move on to the, district report updates. District 1, Tony McAllister.
Yeah, I don't have anything at this time.
District 2, Trimmer Nichols.
I'd like to, thank Chief Brock for heading up the, demo, on the hen nozzles that we had at the headquarters and training we had. I think it was a pretty interesting, good thing to look at. That was from Station 4, and then, Station 5, nothing to discuss. And 16, Chief McAllister wants to see the Super Saturdays return like we used to do several years ago. I guess it'd be up to ever how we wanna do it, whether it's quarterly or monthly or whatever. I remember those being utilized in the county, and they were pretty neat to have.
You want to explain what there was? Some people may not know.
Well, I mean, they would have, instructors there where they could, do CPR certifications and, first aid, research stuff. We done some confined space training and, auto extrication training, and it's just a good thing, and you're working with people you don't get to normally work with, and I think it's a good practice for us to do.
Correct me if I'm wrong, it was not, none of the classes were initial classes. It was
No.
all refresher classes.
Refresher classes.
For people. For
Yeah.
some of those younger ones.
Yep. That's it.
There we go. District 3, Chief Skelton.
Yeah, I got a couple of things. Question was asked, in the past several years, you know, you couldn't work for the county and volunteer. Is that still the same? Okay, okay, so Sean Pesher, does he work for the county? How can he volunteer at Station 15?
He don't.
He don't.
When he runs calls and does stuff down there, he gets paid for that.
Okay, so the same guy asked the question, how does he drive a county vehicle to work at Kiwi Key?
Well, he don't drive a county vehicle.
Okay, this guy said he does, it's got a government tag and everything, so I'm just asking.
501c3 owns a vehicle down there.
So it's a volunteer station that owns the truck, right?
That's their truck.
But he's not a volunteer there. He works for you, so how does he drive?
Those county volunteers, those volunteers are county volunteers, but we don't own that truck.
But he works for the county, so how's he driving a volunteer truck?
Well, that truck don't belong to the county. So
But
it
basically, he belongs
belongs
to the county because he works for you, so how's he driving a volunteer truck to work? So
I say again, I don't know. I mean, that truck don't belong to us. I don't know how they have it insured, or who could drive it, who can't. So,
Okay. Well, I disagree with that, if he is driving the truck. I don't know that he is, I was just asked a question.
Yeah.
You know, but if he is, I don't, anyway, that's something 15 needs to look into, I guess. How many boats does the county have?
maybe 5, 6 tops.
Where are they all at?
There's one small one at Bountyland. There's, over here at Rescue 4, Walla Rescue for the dive team. There was one at the Shiloh substation on 30, the Junction 30.
Wallace is not there now.
They had one and it dilapidated, it wouldn't run. I think
Okay.
there was another one moved down there.
I got you.
So maybe 5, 6 boats total.
Okay. What about the one sitting up here at Hollyfield's old place? Is it a fireboat? Is that a
There was
county?
one there that they were fixing.
Is it still there? or-
I don't think so. There's one at headquarters,
Okay.
one at Bountyland, and then these over here.
Okay, all right, well, I got a phone call about 45 minutes ago about it, asking why it was still there, so I'm assuming it's there, but is it not want to kick
Well,
in?
if it's there, it's getting worked on as far as the
Okay,
weather.
it's been there for a while, though, so I didn't, is it too broke to fix, or we know?
I don't know, I'll follow up for you.
Okay, okay. The last thing that I have is, back when we get new trucks, they had the county sticker on the front fender, then all of a sudden you got the big sticker on the doors. I know the people that we serve, they don't care what the truck says, but the volunteers in the building do. I think, to me, it gives the station more pride if it's got our name on the door and not this big ugly sticker from the county. So, and that's not just my opinion, that's several volunteers that I've talked to. So I think that would be one thing to put some pride back in some stations, is to get rid of that gaudy looking sticker and go back with what we used to have. That had each and everybody's name on it. There again, I know the public don't care who shows up, but the people driving the trucks do care. That's all I have.
Comment? Question?
If none, I'll move on. District 4, myself, Travis Collins. The only thing that I bring is, I've talked with all the fire chiefs, most all the fire departments in my district, in my region. We all want to emphasize the firefighter incentive, that nothing come out of that pool of money except the firefighter incentive. We're in the process of budget iteming now. We can make budget items or line items for transport insurance, the award ceremony, stuff like that. We're proposing and suggesting that nothing come out of that line item for volunteer incentive except that, so that it goes back to the volunteers where it rightfully should, so.
We're supposed to have an incentive meeting
Tomorrow
tomorrow
at
at 9:00.
Right. That's from Region 4, that's their desires, and that's the way that fund was initially set up, was kind of to recoup the volunteers on their time, on their gas. Does it come close? Absolutely not. But over the years, we've dwindled that out and started taking stuff out of it, and we've got that pool to where it ain't even worth having now. Our suggestion is for the incentive committee to leave that one lump sum, divide it every bit up toward the volunteers at the end of the year, and send it and put it back in their hands, instead of divvying all this other stuff out. And after your meeting, if we need to come, if we need to talk about budget line items, we can make sure that that's in there. And myself and Chief Smith's talked about it, and I think they've got a line item in the budget for this other stuff now, so. Other than that, that's all we've got. District 5, Chief Larry Wilkerson.
Well, just to go back, they even had 3 items in, do we just leave them down on the vine, or how do we handle that, since it's not an actual agenda item? So there was a question with the, vehicle from 15 going to 17, boat locations and, labeling on trucks. So how do we, as a board, do anything to address it? Can we do that during this discussion, or do we need to bring it back to a future agenda?
Correct me if I'm wrong, we probably need to put it on the agenda for next month. Put that as a line item on the agenda for next month for discussion, corrective actions. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
So, and that would give her time to get supporting documents and backup material as needed for that.
So going forward, if something's open-ended, should you ask, like in this case, Fabian, do you want this to be on the agenda in the future to be able to discuss it further? I'm asking you, Travis, is that something you think you need to do?
He represents a region of volunteer firemen, so yes, he brought a concern before the advisory commission, and I would say, yeah, I think it needs to go to the line item, be created for it for the next meeting.
Okay.
And again, that would give Madison time to prepare any backup material that we would need for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does, and then yours is already on the line item, it's, for this month, it's, that's part of the budget, right? So,
Right.
what you brought up, is part of the budget.
Right.
And I got one, so I think it's also this replacement inventory schedule dealing with apparatus or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
else.
yeah.
So, Chief Brock called me, and I'll just speak about that when we talk about replacement apparatus, he had some concerns there. And that's all I got from Region 5.
Okay. Chiefs Association at large, Chief Swafford.
Truman, we have discussed about training on the chiefs meetings as well. It's on the agenda for Monday.
Okay.
So I'll make sure that the Super Saturday is on there.
Okay.
I wanted to remind everybody, Salem Fire Department's Salem Fire and Rescue, is doing their breakfast fundraiser this Saturday from 6 to 11. So it's at their main station on West Main Street in Salem. So that is this Saturday,
What's the times?
from 6 to 11.
6 to 11.
Yes. But I'm gonna try to go up there myself, so.
What's the date on that, Stephen?
21st.
21st?
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
Yes.
First bullet on discussion items, discuss alerting apps such as Active 911 and Responder app. I think that was more directed to Chief Smith.
Okay.
For an update maybe on that.
So I still don't have a good number for volunteers and countywide, so I'm using a number from what we had previous from our active 911, using that number to put that back in the budget. There's some departments that still using the responder app, so that's a part of the Red MX. So goal is to try to get active 911 back into the budget, for next year, for the number of people we had when we quit doing
What
that.
was that number, do you remember?
I don't, it's like 6,000 some odd dollars for the active. But as far as total number, I didn't see the number.
I think we could probably clean that up some and the number would go down. Because if you've looked on active, everybody and their brother that had a cell phone was on active.
I think we should just grab everybody's roster that they turn in quarterly, and if they're active and got a current physical, they're on it. If not, they're not. I think that'd be the simplest way to fix it.
Now, I do understand that, like, some in Townville, some in Clemson, they need it, but I don't think that everybody's wife and 3 iPads and 4 trucks and 2 desktop computers need to be added on to that.
And that number will fluctuate throughout the year as people get members on and stuff like that. So having a kind of a ballpark number for a budget's kind of what I'm using.
Right.
Need to vote on that.
You wanna put that in motion?
I'll make it a motion.
All right, we've got a motion to move forward with active. And if you're not, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're not on a fire department roster, minus the handful of automatic aid people, you don't go on.
My suggestion on your motion, and you do whatever you want to, is provided it's approved in the budget and funded, then this would be what you would follow for that.
Amend that motion. We'll amend it.
I'll make a motion that if they're if money allows and we get active 911 back, we have everybody that's on a current roster that has a current physical gets on active 911. And that station chief has access to add and subtract membership as needed.
I got a question on that. What if you have like we have a preacher, he's not gonna get a physical, but he gets our calls, he calls from time to time when it's something bad, and he's useful. I mean, he's not gonna get a physical, he's not gonna be that active, but what he does is very important, so.
He's not gonna be on the fire scene though.
Yeah, but we also send them out for
Reminders.
group texts and stuff like that. We
But
didn't
the
want
station
to-
chief or officers within that station should have access to send
I
out
understand,
alerts
but
and
if they-
stuff.
But like the admin type folks wouldn't get those internal pages because it wouldn't be in the system then, like.
If they're on the roster, they should.
No, you said on the roster and active, and with a physical,
Oh, that's true.
you know.
Why don't we put it as the chief's discretion? Would that, I mean, that could still keep the numbers down, you know?
Yeah.
Would you like to amend your motion again?
Sure.
If your
As long as
station
it's,
pays for it yourself.
If your station pays for it theirself, what you get into is you can only send a message to that station. If you go through the county system, then you can send an all page out.
And then, so the ones that's got the physical and would get the pages from the county.
Do what now?
Like Chris sent a page out to everybody.
I can send a page out, or through the county, I can send a page out and I can send to everyone. Through the county system, but if the station buys it standalone by theirself, correct me if I'm wrong, they only have access to that station.
If you only have your own active 911, you can't send a message to Larry's station.
I'm just trying to clean some of it up.
And there's a handful of stations and rescue squads that have purchased it already. And not to sound rude or anything, but, I mean, that is what it is, you know. They're just, they'll just absorb that money for that year. 'Cause you're gonna get into a nightmare trying to figure out how to recoup that and move that money back around.
Well, I know a couple of my stations have already got it,
Yeah,
volunteer service.
They just wouldn't renew.
right.
Answer my question?
You wanna repeat your motion?
For the fourth time, I would like to make a motion that we do look into Act 911 budget approval, and the station chief has discretion, yes.
I second the motion.
I've got a motion and a second for active 911 to be put back in as a line item in the budget, with the station chief having input and discretion into the membership of that. Is that true? Any further discussion?
I'm all for it, but still, I just do have a question. Chris, that won't preclude us, they won't make us get rid of a responder, right? And it already included in Red
It's,
MX?
it's included in Red MX, yes.
Okay, thank you. That's, just want to verify.
This will just be another layer.
Another, yeah.
Any further questions or discussions? I'm gonna call for a roll call vote on this. Chief Wilkerson?
Yeah.
Assistant Chief McAllister?
Yay.
Mr. Nicholson? Myself, yay.
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 Unanimous. Did you get all that, Miss Madison?
Yes.
Okay. You doing better than me then. Next bullet is station staffing. I would like to read a proposal, and I will put it in the form of a motion as well. We've not made a public statement about station staffing, so I would like to, put out there to squash any false information, false station, or false rumors going around. But I will also put this in the form of a motion. Over the past several months, Oconee County Fire Chiefs, along with Oconee County Fire Service Advisory Commission and members of Oconee County Council, have discussed ways to improve response coverage and response time to support the volunteer fire departments during the period of time while most volunteers are at their jobs providing for their families. Modeled closely to a proven staffing plan used under past leadership, a model which would put paid staffing in all volunteer stations during the day, Monday through Friday, from approximately 8:30 to 4:30. Then, staffing would return to their respective squad to complete their remaining time to complete their 24-hour shift. The projected start date for this was April 9th, as suggested by current Fire Chief Chris Smith. At this time, I recommend we push this start date out at least to the month of May, so that all parties and all moving parts can be polished, and to not only ensure a smooth transition, but also to ensure all fine details can be worked out before implementing. The end result will stay the same, which is same as they always have been, which is to provide the fastest and best care possible to the citizens and visitors of our great county. In doing this, we can ensure that we continue to move forward instead of backwards. We can continue to work together to finalize this, and we'll send out updates as possible. I would like to put that in the form of a motion to push it out at least 1 month. At least 1 month.
Second.
You second? I've got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Have we got enough personnel to do the staffing?
Not right now.
And what, are you getting any employees to replace the ones that's left? And if so, what kind of training or level do they have?
We've hired 2 that have no training, that we're having to send through cadet class.
So essentially, they're,
We hired 1 that had some training, 2 that had none.
so you got several months involved getting those guys up to speed, and they're not gonna have any experience. I'd like to, I don't know that I could do it, but my concern is that we would, push it out until we have, enough staff and that can handle, experienced staffing that can handle the workload or going to the stations to cover the stations during the day, push that out until we have them trained and some experience, because if we don't, stations like, I know like Mountain Rest, they're not gonna have coverage in a day. Until we do have people trained well enough. And depending on how we present the proposal, we're gonna have the same turnover rate we've been going through already.
We don't know that we're gonna do that or not, because we hadn't even tried.
Right, yeah, I know. I'm just afraid if we tried putting one person in there, we're gonna run more people off.
Well, I think that's why,
That's all it takes, then.
I think that's
I mean,
why
it's
we're,
happened in the past, and,
that's why the motion in the second was to push it out at least a month.
Yeah.
We're not putting a start date on it, we're just putting out at least a month.
okay.
Could you not take your rookies that's coming in and swap them around with some of the guys sitting at Bounty Lane?
We got 4 openings currently and 2 new people. I got 3 firefighter positions over there.
At Bounty Lane? You have 4 openings at that station?
No, I have 4 openings in my system, and I have 3 firefighter positions over there that could go over there and work with them. But I've got 2 hired that have no training. I got 4 left to hire.
Mm-hmm. So that's 6. So that's 2 per day, correct?
You could put 2 over there per day.
No, but you could put 1, you could swap some people around to help out.
Yes,
I'm just asking.
yes.
I don't get the mentality of this younger generation that's scared to work by themselves. I don't get it. If that's all it takes for them to quit, then hit the road. It wasn't worth it to begin with.
Oh, that's our, like the 19 station's already down to 2 people per shift, right?
That's all they had.
That's all we ever had over there.
South Union, how many they got down
2, 3, depends on the shift.
there? Yeah, hard to find firefighters.
I mean, I've never worked as a paid firefighter, so I don't really know. Do they send out 1 person to a call, or do they send out 2 or more?
I mean, you send out at your volunteer station.
Many as we can?
Exactly. What if there's only 1? You do what you can to everybody else gets there.
I know, but in a paid situation though, I'm asking, do the paid stations send out 1 person? Or do they send out multiple people to a call?
They send out multiple people, most stations,
Depends on the station.
yeah,
There's a station like Salem, they only send 1, right?
yeah,
They only got 1 shift.
yep.
The purpose of this plan, and we're getting away from the motion, the purpose of this plan is to get a truck in motion,
Right.
to get a fast response to this call. You've got volunteers, you've got backup stations coming to support this, but that initial person at your station is to get a truck rolling quickly in the direction of this call. And we all know that a lot of these calls, they start out as a room and content, and 1 person get there and pop it from the window. It may not be a full-blown structure fire.
Call for vote.
I got a motion and a second. Chief Wilkerson's call for the vote. We're gonna roll call this. Chief Wilkerson?
Yeah.
Assistant Chief McAllister?
I'll vote yea, but push it out to, with a stipulation that if they don't have the manpower to do it by May, they may have to push it out.
Well, the motion is at least, push it out at least a month. So that's not, we're trying not to put a calendar date on
Yeah.
it. That's why we said at least a month.
Yeah, well, I'll vote yea,
Okay?
till we see what we got.
Assistant Chief Nicholson?
Yea.
Myself, yay?
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 Yay.
And I didn't drop that on Chief Smith. I mean, we had talked about it, so. Unanimous, Matty. Next item on the list, replacement, it says replacement inventory schedule, but that's pertaining to, trucks. And I think what we probably need to do for that is to form a committee to assist Chief Smith in developing a truck replacement list and getting a grasp on what we've got, where we've got, and what it's doing. Chief Smith has put together a replacement list here, just from what he's had to go by since he's been on board. On the last page, Chief Smith, bike A and bike B are those little motorbikes, right?
Yeah.
You can say, Lord God, surely we ain't riding bicycles to ours.
It's what now?
Little motorbike,
Part of
anybody.
rescue, special rescue stuff.
Yeah.
Would anybody like to serve on a committee to help Chief Smith with this?
Well, I got a question. We're just gonna do it with this commission, or we're gonna have a couple of chiefs on it?
I think you need a couple of chiefs on it.
I mean, most of us are, but I'm just saying.
Other than us.
Association representing now.
I think whoever the truck's getting assigned to needs to have a little bit of say in it, not to vary off very much, but have a set of specs.
And I'm cautious what I
Option B,
say,
option
but
B.
you represent a
Right.
region of fire departments and chiefs. I think if you get, the more hands you get into it, the longer and slower the process is gonna be and the more confusing it's gonna get. Would you be opposed to some help?
Stephen come over after the last commission meeting and we kind of looked over this and kind of worked on it a little bit, but no, I'm not opposed. This is not just fire either, though.
Right.
This is rescue vehicles, special rescue vehicles, boats, everything is on here.
Sound like we need to bring rescue commission in as well then. One or two. Two from each commission and Chief Smith.
Sounds reasonable. Now, is this committee gonna look at rotation schedule, or are they gonna look at, generic specs, or?
I think the committee could be all of the above. I mean, that'd be the desires of the board here, you know.
Well, I'll just leave it to the committee, but that was, I mentioned earlier, I was gonna mention Chief Brock. He has concerns about the trucks and so, but if they gonna do both, he had concern about rotation and about truck type specific, so I'll just forward those on to whoever's on the committee.
I'll be willing to serve on the fireside committee if somebody will serve with me.
I can do that.
Or, Stephen?
I'm on enough stuff now, I'm good.
Said, got two volunteers, myself and Fabian Skelton. Everybody in favor of that, along with Chief Smith? And we'll get two from the Rescue Commission. And that'll form 5 people. I'm not trying to keep the chiefs out of it, I feel that we represent them in a region anyway. So if they've got a concern or a need, or they can funnel those through us to get it to the committee. I mean, that's the way I see it, but I can be corrected.
Would you include, Smitty on that, or with Mike Carroll from rescue side, since there's rescue vehicles in it?
Well, you got rescue committee, you got rescue commission.
I know since Chris is gonna be sitting in on it, if somebody need to be there from administrative side of rescue, I didn't know.
I think their person is Zach Smith. I think it
No.
is.
No.
Is it not?
That's Mike Carroll.
Is it? I think they changed their bylaws.
From the commission side?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Just from the county side.
Chiefs Association. From their Rescue Chiefs Association. I think Zach is their representative. I may be wrong.
For the commission. Okay. I know Mike's role, his job with EMS is the rescue side with the rescue squads.
So you want, we'll put a fire rep and a rescue rep. How's that?
That'll work.
Then they can arm wrestle out in the parking lot and decide who.
Set of gloves.
Any further discussion on that? Would you like to make a line item for next month on this? Give you time to go home and go over this? Or you want to send it to the committee?
I think that's what you just did.
Okay. Okay,
The committee needs to have something back relatively soon, because there's, I count 6 trucks on here for 26, 27 budget.
they gonna how he does.
6.
Anything else on the,
They're already done.
These are 5 more.
You ain't replacing them all.
that was on the truck replacement. Next bullet item is the 26-27 fire service budget, or, got outsided items to be considered for recommendation, which would be stuff that you would like to see put into the budget as a line item. And I've got a couple. The two I'd like to see is to make sure they're in budget is transport insurance. And we need to get somebody to look at that supplemental insurance policy to see if it's something that we can benefit from, or whether we're just throwing money down an open hole. And also a line item for the recruitment and retention. We've done, and when I say we, not only us, but county council, everybody involved, we've done a poor job at recruitment over the last several years. Firefighters are getting older in Oconee County, and we hadn't done anything to get out and knock on doors and try to draw new members in. And I think if we're gonna do that in this coming year, we need a little, whether it be to go to one region and cook hot dogs and hamburgers and have a membership drive. But I think there needs to be a line item put in the budget to help support that, so that we're not going out and knocking on local business doors trying to do fundraisers to do this. I think that could be a commitment from county council, showing that they're also supporting emergency services. And when I speak of stuff like this, I'm not speaking only of fire. I'm speaking of everybody that volunteered. Whether you willing to take the training to be on the dive team, or whether you want to be a fireman or a rescue squad, I'm talking across the board volunteer. So, and I told the Public Safety Committee that we've all done a poor job at recruiting. And after a little explaining, they all three stood up there and shook their head that they agreed, that we hadn't done that, and gentlemen, we're at the point where we need to start doing it again. Maybe have 3, maybe have 4 membership drives spread throughout the county, take a Saturday, go cook a hot dog, give smoke detectors away, do something to draw the people in and get them to fill out a membership application, get some training started. That's my suggestion.
What about doing a mailer like, you did with, 14?
I mean, anything like
Worked
that.
good for him, sound like.
I mean, kids like big flashy red trucks and ambulances, and, just get to a central location of a fire department and have a fun Saturday morning or a fun Saturday afternoon. And everybody likes hot dog, so. The Chiefs, Fire Chiefs Association has a recruitment board, I think, committee that we could spearhead this under them. So, anybody else got anything they'd like to see in the budget?
Well, just to comment on that, you said volunteer several times, but why not volunteer and paid? I mean, Chris is saying they have a hard time getting anybody with experience. There's folks in the area that's retired from other places would come on board for X number of years.
I agree.
And so not just say we're gonna limit it to just trying to get more volunteers.
Right,
get
right.
more people.
Just get
So,
fired.
Membership application.
Chris, you okay with that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Don't act so enthused over there.
I'm taking notes, I'm sorry.
Anything else?
One of the questions I had, like what kind of money you talking about?
That's something we're just gonna have to see what council would be willing to support. I mean, anything beats what we've been getting.
Yeah, that's come up with kind of a number of what this will cost.
Chris, do we need to talk about the, radio communications budget and what y'all went to the meetings today?
The radio communications budget,
Yeah, I mean, for the money in the future budget of next year.
Don't have any idea of the price yet.
I didn't know.
they're still in the exploratory, of which direction we want to go, So, the sheriff talked to, in his budget presentation, had mentioned, that in future, they're looking to need to do something with the radio system, so.
I'd like to bring back our family day, that we used to have once a year. But, I mean, all of that can be figured in under recruitment and retention.
That's right.
But we're not gonna get it if we don't ask for it, that's a fact. Anything else you'd like to see added to the budget? Our time is April, middle of April, end of April.
Sometime in April. I don't have the date, but
So we may possibly have another meeting before then, but if you think of something, get it to me, send me a text or an email. I can funnel it on to Chris and make sure that we've got it at least in the budget for consideration.
These 6 trucks, there's obvious, if we looked at the news and the council meetings, they're having financial woes in the county. Do we think the 6 trucks will actually get done, or?
I don't know. My thought was if we could do another lease purchase like we did with the tankers. The 6 tankers are $400,000 and some change a year payment. We we have a set millage for capital. So this next budget year is our last year on the air packs. So the thought was if we could get 2 more engines and maybe three tankers, do another lease purchase, and then the following year, that air pack payment, which is several $100,000, would come off, and then maybe you could look at doing another one. So I don't know. Like you said, we don't know till we ask, but that was my thought. The tanker payment and the air pack payments coming out first, so asking for more trucks and doing a lease payment, 5, 10 years, whatever.
Lease payment on the engines and the tankers, or is it just the tankers?
It would be together. Well, the payment on the tanker is $400 and some odd thousand a year, but doing another one for 2 more engines, and it would be one purchase together, engines and tankers together.
How much you budgeting for each one, for each tanker, each engine?
So, we haven't bought an engine since we bought the one at Station 30, or Station 3. That was the last one that was bought. The price today for a 2-door commercial engine is $650,000 plus equipment. The tankers were $518. You're gonna have to add some to that, because that was bought a year and a half, 2 years ago. So it's pretty pricey, and they don't seem to be slowing down as far as prices.
And the turnaround time is what now?
24 to 36 months to get a 2-door commercial truck.
Is that mini pumpers? Because, Fabian, that's what you got right here. Y'all, is it doing well
want
for
it?
you? Huh?
You want it?
I doubt. But
That's what
is it doing well or not? I heard it was not doing well.
We all hate it. I'll gladly give it back and take my truck back today.
That's kind of what I was asking, one of the reasons I asked, for instance, we're budgeting for full-size traditional engines, or we're going, okay.
1,000-gallon, 1,500 pump, 2-door commercial cab truck,
I agree with you. I think your number's a little low.
Yeah.
Just because of the way the market is now.
Any further?
I think I know there's gonna be some objection to this, but I think the amount of money going to each of the volunteer stations, and I didn't, I lost an hour today somehow, but anyway, I didn't bring the stuff with me, but the 60,000, if you look at the standard budget for a volunteer department between insurance and equipment replacement, you pretty much eat that up if you've got a decent amount of stuff. And turnout gear over the years has gone from, just a few years ago, it was $2,000 a set. Now it's close in on $5,000 a set. And so that's a huge amount of increase. We've been stuck at 60,000 for a long time. And for those of us that have got department-owned vehicles, and everybody's got department-owned department, you take those numbers and divide them into years. So like we got silly number, $50,000 vehicle in the last 10 years, then you need to be providing $5,000 budgeted so that you can buy a new one when this one goes bad. Well, now, obviously, the numbers are way off. I mean, such a huge amount of money, that's probably $30,000, $40,000 a year you need to be looking at to replace if you got anything big, not just station Tahoes or anything like that, but I'm talking about a real fire truck. So I know there's quite a few of them around the county, certain trucks, heavy rescues, whatever they may be, attack trucks. So, in my opinion, the money to the departments needs to go up. It's gone up drastically. No offense to anybody in the audience, but it's gone up drastically for the municipalities over the years. But the volunteers have stuck the same at 60,000 for a long time. So I'd like to see that. I'm not saying double it or anything, but some 25% increase or even 50% will not be out of the question, but make it something palatable that can be done, considering this is gonna be a tight year for county council. I'm done.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, well, and I'm not opposed to that, more money's better, so the price of everything else is going up. It's just, tight budget right now, we can ask for all of it. I don't know if we gonna get all.
Well, if you don't ask for something, you're not gonna get nothing.
What's left, we
Yeah,
got to ask.
so ask for everything and hope you get at least one.
Well, I think if we at least put it on the radar,
Yeah, I don't know, if we need it.
if we don't get it this year, at least they'll know it's on paper for next year. I saw the numbers that Chief Wilkerson created, and I thought we were all getting sufficient money until you look at the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And, you're one bad day away from not having enough money to continue operating. Yes, you can buy fuel without having turkey shoots and selling hams, and you can buy the bone level necessities, but when you go to upkeeping a building, when you go to replacing turnout gear, who knows where it's gonna end. I think with that increase, though, there needs to be stipulations on it. I think if council gives you extra money, no station in this county, you should be able to walk into and see outdated gear.
Absolutely.
That should be a no-no.
Well, even with the 60 you get now, that should.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's ridiculous.
I think we've been real good stewards of what we've been getting, but I also think with an increase, we need to suggest some stipulations to it as well.
I don't know, my point, just, you know, only the ones that's certified to fight fire need new gear every, you know. Don't just buy everybody new gear. And then you spending your money, what you got, on somebody can't even use the gear.
But they need some type of protective clothing
Well,
on
that's
to be
right.
exterior. I mean,
Well, you can still get gear for the exterior, I guess.
yeah, but you can get extrication stuff, but you priced it lately?
Oh, yeah, all I'm supposed to say, everything.
It's $1,200-1,500, ain't it?
Trucks went from 250,000 to 800,000.
And the interior guys need both.
Yeah.
And they really need
Oh,
extra
yeah.
set.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about
Yeah.
cancer
Yeah.
concerns and stuff,
Yeah.
especially the busy stations where they got,
Well, not even the busy stations, the stations that run minimum, I mean, one fire and you go back to the station and throw your gear in the gear washer, and you know yourself, that's the time you're gonna have another one back to back.
Yeah.
You know, and,
you don't do 3 sets at a time, you got a big washer.
right, and you've got if you've never wore wet turnout gear, it's miserable,
Yes, sir.
it's miserable.
If I get any more gear, I'll get a minivan.
Do that.
If I get any more gear, I'm gonna have to get a minivan.
Well, I'm not saying everybody needs new gear,
I know,
I'm just
I know.
saying that I promise you, there's some sets sitting in a station right now that are out of date. And if they have a fire tonight, they're gonna go put it on, they're going.
But I think David's right, I think regardless of whether we increase the amount any at all, if the county budgeted, there needs to be some amount of ditches in place, you know. And then what you said, it needs to be in place no matter what we're getting, if get 60 or more, we need to have those type of standard guidelines.
Well, I said that.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, they should be, nobody should have out-of-date gear anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
If we get hurt, they ain't gonna get paid.
Exactly.
Do we want to put that in, get Chief Smith to put that in this year's budget?
It'd be nice to try. All they can do is say no.
They're looking for money this year, but, you wanna put that in the form of a motion? You'll have to put a percentage or something on it.
Did we put a motion to the other stuff too, did you make a motion for the transport insurance and the recruitment and retention amount of money?
Well, I hadn't made a motion on any of it yet.
Yeah. So I could do it, or we can lump them all together, it's up to you.
25%, 75,000. 25% increase would be 75,000.
Yeah.
I would make them separate line items myself.
Then I make a motion to increase from 60 to 75,000 for this 26-27 budget year.
That was a motion?
It is.
I'll second that.
I'll make that motion. Let me redo that motion. I'll make it 80,000. That way it's easier on Maddie, because she divide 80 by 4 a whole lot easier than 75.
It's
80,000.
we ain't just talking fire departments. We talking rescue, you're talking special rescue, you're talking dive, so.
So whatever that percentage is have to be that
Yeah,
percentage
roughly
across the
that
board.
percentage.
25%.
Some even amount, yeah.
25%.
Yeah, so I'll amend to I'll amend to what Chris just said. Roughly 25% for all the agencies involved.
The back page of the budget has what everybody gets annually.
Yeah.
Anything else on the budget that you'd like to see added?
We got a motion to second.
Well,
On the floor.
I was gonna make a motion for all three of them.
Oh,
I mean, I was gonna vote on all
I thought you
three,
said three, okay.
or all of them that were suggested.
You boss.
No, I'm just trying. Anything else? Okay, I've got suggestions to add line items for transport insurance. Look at the supplemental insurance policy, or have somebody look at it to see if it's beneficial, or I know one of the councilmen was at the last Chiefs meeting, and from what I gathered from what he said, it wasn't really beneficial to us. Did you, well, you wasn't standing there, you just,
No, I wouldn't stand there.
he was reading it off of his phone. He said, I think you're paying a whole lot for nothing. But I think we need to get somebody to look at that to make sure that it is beneficial. A line item for recruitment and retention, and we'll just have to sit down and come up with some numbers. If everybody's good with it, I'll sit down with Chief Smith and we'll try to come up with a figure to make a line item for it. And also to increase the yearly expense funds from 60,000 to 80,000, which is a 25% increase across the board of all emergency agencies. Any further discussion?
The transport right now is set up, if I'm not mistaken, it's set up where the county covers the helicopter insurance, or the current insurance. It covers if you've got the county incentive. And it makes it really difficult, because this year that might be 12 of my people and 3 didn't, because they're admin only. So we had to cover 3, but somebody dropped their physical, next year I gotta do 4, and the following year I gotta do 3, and off again. If departments got them and they're using them, whether they're admin or not, the admins don't require physicals. What Steve come up with earlier was,
Roster.
if you got them on your roster and you're counting them and you turn the list in, we turn the list in, they ought to get it and not have to, because it is our absolute.
I agree with that.
I agree with
Trying to
that.
deal with massive.
And that goes back toward, putting it in the council's hands for, I mean, that's a good recruitment tool. And it's a good retention tool too, And that would be easy to figure. You can count the rosters, Any further discussion?
The only thing I got on that is kinda get away from calling it incentive, if everybody go get it.
Well, everybody's not gonna get the incentive. You still have to qualify for the incentive.
Well, that's what, if they separate it out from the incentive,
This would just be a line item in the budget.
yeah.
It wouldn't be linked to the incentive. It would just be a
Benefit to them.
beneficial to theirs.
Conversation.
Yeah.
And that's great, yeah.
And maybe if we push it on the budget, maybe it could be good for the whole county as a whole, not just emergency services too. Maybe they could get a bigger bundle if they add every county employee to it. I don't know, I'm just throwing that idea out there too. They might see it like that. I don't know if they will or not, but.
Chris, do you provide this for your employees now? Okay, I just wanna make sure It needs to be for everybody. It seems like it needs to be countywide, but that's not our call, I mean.
I'm just saying if we put it in the budget, they might see it and, hey, that's a good idea. That might be retaining people throughout the whole county, no matter where they work, so.
Okay, any further discussion? I'm gonna call for a vote. Chief Wilkerson? The three items that we've discussed?
Yeah.
Added to
Hang on,
We need a second. before we move on.
I thought we had a second.
second.
Don't get a motion.
We got a second.
Okay.
I thought we already had one. I apologize. Okay. Chief
Still
Wilkerson? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. McAllister?
Yay.
Nicholson? Myself, yay.
Yay.
Excuse me.
We'll see what we can find.
Unanimous, Ms. Manning. Next item on the agenda is executive session to discuss contractual matters related to Oconee County Emergency Services. The fire contracts for purpose of reporting and making recommendations to county council, Oconee County Law Enforcement, Public Safety, Health and Welfare Committee. Could I get a motion that we proceed to executive session? I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? 7-0, Ms. Manning. Okay, could I entertain a motion we
I move we
dismiss from executive
return-
session?
Return from executive session.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Yay.
7-0. No action taken in executive session. Next item on the agenda would be adjourn. Could I hear a motion, we adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Yay.
So move.
Adios.